Hey, what's up everybody? This is Royce from Pedal Metal and welcome to my channel. Today what I'm going to do is I want to show you how to use one of these universal O2 sensors. This is a Bosch one that I had ordered, and this is also a Bosch universal 3-wire that I had ordered. I don't know, I probably did this one 15 years ago. So it's starting to give me some issues, so I want to go ahead and swap it over. What the point of these universal O2 sensors are, you can get them for probably like almost 20% of what the cost of one that has the plug already soldered on or crimped on. This one, like I said, happens to be 3-wire. So, and then this is just a ground here coming off. So apparently what I did, it's been so long since I've done this, it was underneath of this sheath here. Now the connection points that were, I should say, if you want to do it solderless, it did come with these 3 solderless crimp connectors, and you can do it that way. I think I might have done it that way back then. I'll have to look here if I can get this cover off, and obviously all you would do is use a crimper to crimp once you cut the wire. But we'll get started here and I'll show you how I do them. I prefer to solder them just so you know that they're on securely. I'll go ahead and strip the ends of the 3 wires here first. I think these cutters are wearing out. I don't know where my other ones are at. My new ones, that'd probably be nice to have those out. Alright, so we got you want to strip the end of the wires so you have fresh frayed wire coming out. And the other thing I like to do is you want to go ahead and figure out your length and where you want to cut. So let's see, we're obviously reusing this, so I would add maybe an inch or 2, and then just cut the wire there. Like I said, I have to see here. I'm gonna pull this apart. I'm not sure where exactly okay, yes, this is how I did them before. I did solder them and then I used shrink tubing, which I have ready to go here. Which this was from a Harbor Freight set of shrink tubing. You can go and get that for real cheap, and that's the best way to do it, to keep your soldered connections away from the elements of weather and whatnot. So I don't know if this is actually going bad. You could probably put this in an ultrasonic cleaner and clean it and extend the life, but I'm not really worried about it for $20. But I am going to reuse this metal cover, so we're going to stick that on a while. This is just to protect it, I guess, from the heat. Okay, the next thing we want to do here is get this cleaned up. Just pull that cover off of there for now, and go ahead and you can do this with a razor if you don't have a set of these cutters. If you're just careful, you can follow around the insulation of the wire. And man, they're dull. They're really freaking dull. Okay. Okay, I have just a real cheap, this is just a cheap Harbor Freight soldering iron, which works fine. I do have a really good Heller one here too, but it's almost too strong for this. I think this one here is just a 30 watt one. Let's see, we're gonna put this, let's put this insulation back on. I'll snip off this free down there. Okay. And like I said, if you want to do them solderless, most of the kits do come with the solderless connections, and all you would do would, let me zoom up here a little bit. All you do is put them, you might have to twist the wires a little bit and then just put them together like this. And this doesn't matter. The two whites, as far as I know, it doesn't matter. The black will, you obviously want to get the blacks together. Now this string tubing here wouldn't fit over this connection, over that solderless connector there, so you'll have to get some bigger string tubing. And then, like I said, you just use a crimper to crimp the ends, but I'm not using those because I prefer to solder everything. Oh, here's my, looking for my flux here. This is just Radio Shack flux, and then I have some solder. This is also just 6040 resin core Radio Shack solder, which I know it's getting harder to find the Radio Shacks around. So before you do this, you want to put your shrink tubing on here a while and get that tucked up in there. And like that, so that way you can pull it over when you're done. Now we're going to use my little helping hand stand here. This is also a Harbor Freight tool, which is really nice though for soldering. This way you can prop it up. You can also probably use some clothespins or something to rig something up, but I'm just gonna, let me zoom back up here once. What I did is just kind of intertwine the strands together. And let me see if I have a Q-tip here. I'm going to use a Q-tip here for the flux. Put a little bit of flux on there. And then just put the tip of the soldering gun. I prefer to start on the opposite end of where you're going to drop your solder, so it'll pull, the solder will pull towards the heat. So just heat up your junction point. It should be getting hot here soon. I think this needs cleaned off. That could be the problem. But I wanted to show you how I do this with just the cheapest stuff that's available to most people in their towns. Okay, so there's one. It's not perfect, but it'll hold, and that's going to be pretty strong. A lot stronger than a solderless connection. I try to get most of the excess solder off of there. And then bring your shrink tubing over. I should have probably cut this down a little more there. The shrink tubing, I should say here. I didn't have the microphone on me yet. Probably would help if I had the microphone on me. Probably could cut this down a lot further. Then you just want to heat up your shrink tubing. And that's it. It's as simple as that. And then work your way around and gotta do 2 more, and that's it. And then you can put your new oxygen sensor back in the car, which is pretty cool. And it saves you a lot of money, because this one here for my Volkswagen Corrado is, I think, like $100, the oxygen sensor, and to get the Bosch Universal was like $20. So it's a pretty significant difference. So thanks for checking it out, and until next time, we'll see you guys later. All right, bye now.